Well, in our last Epic Universe construction update, we talked about how Hurricane Ian swept through the site and honestly set them back a little bit. And on top of that, and of course the pandemic and everything, now we have Hurricane Nicole. How much has it affected Epic Universe? Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Exploring Attractions. My name is Scott, and you're watching your stop for all things theme park and attraction related. If you're new here, consider subscribing down below with those bell notifications on, and make sure to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. As always, you can find all of our different social media accounts down below in the description. Today we bring you another Epic Universe construction update provided by BioReconstruct on Twitter. Make sure you check them out for awesome aerial shots around the Orlando area. We're going to be analyzing some of these construction shots because there's a lot of differences and a couple of things that haven't changed too much due to Hurricane Nicole. So with that being said, let's jump right into it and start talking about Super Nintendo World. So with Super Nintendo World, honestly, from what I have observed now that everything's starting to come pieced together, that the land looks a lot smaller than all of us think. Now obviously everybody's saying the Hollywood land's going to be the smallest version. Well, actually, if you look at the different sizes for Japan's version, it's going to be about the same size as in Hollywood, other than the double-decker aspect of it. And if you get an idea of what Orlando's is going to look like just from the aerial shots, it looks a little bit smaller than that. And of course, they're going to have the Donkey Kong section attached, which will make it larger. But even the Donkey Kong section, there's not going to be tons of walking room. It's going to be mainly attraction. The Yoshi track for the Yoshi Omni Mover is 100% complete now. It looks like they're preparing for the indoor show scene. Who knows when they'll close that off? As I've said in many of our updates already, we don't know exactly when they're going to start putting detail into these attractions, because it looks like right now they're trying to get all the framing done for it. And that's going to be the case with the Yoshis as well, but it is exciting that the fact is that that track is 100% placed. Moving on over to the Donkey Kong coaster, same thing right here. The Donkey Kong coaster is just so complex, but it does look like, however, with how, I don't want to say small, but how condensed it's going to be as far as the coaster experience goes, that's also 100% complete as far as the track work and everything. I guess the next step would be to see them start to erect those different buildings that are going to surround all the scenes in Donkey Kong, if there are any scenes, meaning like indoor show scenes. I'm thinking that there's just going to be like animatronics across the different platforms that you'll ride on, but nothing like indoor, like a launch section or anything like that, other than wherever the load station will be at. But who knows, because they are building that kind of skinny building behind, so that could be an indoor load station compared to something outdoor, which that's what it kind of looks like right now, that it's going to be an outdoor load station, just with a covered hangar, obviously. And then of course we move on over to the Mario Kart attraction, where there hasn't been really any visible progress being made on it. They are closing up the building. I thought that they were going to be closing up a lot faster. However, it doesn't look like there's tons of fast-paced progress going on with Mario Kart. Directly next to Super Nintendo World, we have Universal Classic Monsters, where something exciting is happening. That's right, the Facade's actually taking shape for the e-ticket attraction, which is rumored to be Frankenstein's castle. And with the different structures and the shape that you can see already starting to take place, it does indeed look like it's going to be themed to Frankenstein's castle, which I am very, very excited about. I can't wait for it. And like I said, seeing the shape start to take place makes me 10 times more excited now, because before this we just had the shape of the actual building and not the facade. So now it's a lot more telling, and I'm sure it'll be even more telling once more of the days go on. But right across from that is of course the rumored second attraction, which is most likely going to be a roller coaster due to the roller coaster footers on ground. Now one thing that I did notice is that these footers did move a little bit. It looks like they're on the side of whatever this layout's going to be, whereas beforehand they were kind of scattered in that general plot of land. So it looks like they are going to start planning to do something with this coaster. It could not even be a coaster, but that's just what it looks for and what all the rumors are talking about right now. And like I said, those footers were not in that place before on our last update, so it's exciting that they're starting to move stuff like that. I'm still curious to see if that building behind this plot of land is going to be the load station, or if that's just a maintenance bay, because if it's going to be a coaster, it kind of looks like a maintenance bay, but it also looks like a loading station, so who knows. Something new popping up in the Monsters Land as well is the Windmill Restaurant. The windmill looks like it's starting to take shape and go vertical a little bit, and that's rumored to be just a quick kind of grab and go restaurant, nothing that you can eat on the inside, but it is exciting to see some of the surrounding stuff other than just the rides start to take shape. Right outside of the Universal Monsters Land is the restaurant that's currently being constructed. Before, it was just a platform and it looked like some spots were going vertical. However, now it looks like it's starting to get closed off and it's starting to take shape a lot more. And like I said, that's right outside of the Universal Classic Monsters Land, one of the more grander scale restaurants that Epic Universe will have once it opens up. Across the pond, quite literally, is the brand new Wizarding World Land, where there hasn't been too much progress on the Ministry of Magic attraction. However, you can see exactly where that entrance is going to be to the attraction to the Ministry of Magic is what it's rumored to be. It's kind of an odd shape slash an odd entrance to the building, but obviously it's going to be more of a grander scale attraction, so that's why it does look a little bit more on the odd and complex side. In that land, they are starting to go vertical on the surrounding city buildings. Before, just like the restaurant that we were talking about, is just a flat plot of land. Now it's obviously going a lot more vertical and is also starting to get closed off as far as all the indoor spots for those surrounding city buildings. I can definitely see this being something like a Nocturne Alley over at Diagon Alley in Universal Studios Florida. Something small like that, while also having some outdoor elements, which I think will be cool, because I think that's one hidden gem in Diagon Alley that not a lot of people know about, but once you go down there, like, wow, this is pretty neat. The racing coaster that will be kind of a part of the hub of Epic Universe has now had its first track placed in what's presumably either the launch section or the loading station, and you can kind of see with the structure of where the track's been placed at that they're going two separate ways. One's going left, one's going right, and that's very obvious with this construction shot. It's really neat to see that, seeing that stuff is starting to actually take shape with the different coasters, because it's one thing to see all the structures for the rides take shape, but now actually seeing where the footers are going, where the track's going to be going, is very exciting, because that means that we're getting even closer to an opening time frame of Epic Universe. We still have a few years to go, but it is fun nonetheless to track the construction progress, and I'm sure since they started to place that track, just like with the other attractions that have had track place, we'll start to see more of it take shape over the next coming weeks or so. And then we'll really be able to tell just how long the coaster is, how intense the coaster is going to be. With How to Train Your Dragon, it looks like Hurricane Nicole hit this the hardest as far as flooding goes, because there hasn't been tons of progress since the last time that we covered this. The coaster area of the How to Train Your Dragon land is at a standstill right now. There's no visible change to it since our last update. The theater attraction is slowly starting to take construction progress, like it's slowly starting to go vertical. And then of course the Great Hall restaurant is still vertical. There's some activity going on there, like a lot more construction vehicles in that area compared to the last couple updates that we've talked about. So the How to Train Your Dragon land is unfortunately not going as fast as all the other lands, but with this Epic Universe construction progress, we all know that certain things could go crazy in certain weeks and other things can just be at a standstill. It seems like that's been the general trend. You think that one thing's not getting touched, and then the next week that Bio Reconstruct uploads his different posts and whatnot, it's like, oh wow, that has made so much progress compared to the week before, which is awesome coming from my point of view, analyzing this different construction, because it's like it's something new every week and not just talking about what the progress is of Nintendo every single week. Our last thing that we're going to talk about is the general Epic Universe hub attraction. So surprisingly, with the flooding and everything, it hasn't really affected the pond where it's going to hold the flat ride at. The flat ride section is actually looking very interesting, because lots of people are suggesting that this is going to be some form of double-decker carousel, but then other people are saying it's going to be some form of splash pad ride. I don't really know if that's the correct term for it. That's just really what I can relate it to most, but nonetheless it looks like a very complex platform slash pond that's going to hold water in it, and like I said, some form of flat ride on top of it. Even though flooding is going on in that area, it looks like they're still moving along relatively fast with it. The main kind of water fountain area that will sit in front of the Epic Universe Hotel, however, is extremely flooded right now, super muddy. Doesn't look like there's been any progress made at all, and I don't think that we'll see a lot of progress as this goes on, other than the shape around the actual fountain start to take place eventually, hopefully sometime soon. And last but not least, of course, we have the Epic Universe Hotel, which is starting to have shape take place on the floor. No types of vertical construction quite yet, but you can definitely start to see that they're starting to shape out the area of the Epic Universe Hotel. So once that starts to go vertical, it'll be very exciting because that will be a lot easier to track as far as how far along they are compared to something like an attraction that we don't even know what that attraction may be. I can't wait to see the Epic Universe Hotel, which also has rumor names already, start to go vertical very, very soon. But anyways, everybody, I want to know what you guys think of the current Epic Universe construction progress. Are you excited about it? Was there something that you noticed I didn't notice? Let us know down below in the comments section. But that's going to do it for today's update. As always, big shout out to BioReconstruct. My name is Scott, and you've been watching Exploring Attractions. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.